We are absolutely going to transition off of fossil fuels. We're absolutely going to make this clean energy transition happen. And also, there's going to be enormous suffering and hardship as a result of the emissions that have already been put into the atmosphere as a result of the climate change that's already kind of baked in. That means that what we do now is incredibly, incredibly important.
The Earth's climate system has always been dynamic, shaped by cycles of ice and warmth, by volcanoes, orbit shifts, and oceans. And yes, we've always had extreme weather events. But what we're seeing today is different. It's faster, more disruptive, and together, this challenges our ability to adapt. Human-caused climate change is destabilising the very systems we depend on. The stable conditions have allowed nature and civilization to thrive, and human lives are being shaken. Across continents, climate disruption is no longer a forecast. It's a lived reality. We can now measure the impact of global temperature increase over the last 150 years, driven by human activity on these events. Storms and floods may have always occurred during cyclone or monsoon seasons, but climate change makes them stronger and more destructive. Hurricane Harvey, for example, dropped nearly 40% more rainfall than it would have without climate change, unleashing catastrophic flooding, infrastructure collapse, and deadly disease outbreaks.
Everyone has a trauma story, a hurricane or a storm trauma story, I would say. It's either your Hurricane Harvey story, your Winter Storm Uri story, your tax day flood story, your derecho. Everyone has some story.
Put simply, increased emissions have warmed the atmosphere, intensifying the water cycle. A warmer atmosphere holds more moisture, so when it rains, it pours. Drainage systems are overwhelmed, rivers burst, and communities flood. But while one region is drowning, another may be drying. Persistent droughts in parts of Australia and the western US have dried out once productive farmland. The ripple effects of these disruptions multiply. When crops fail, incomes fall, food prices rise, farm jobs disappear, and the businesses that are reliant on agriculture struggle. Rural communities lose property value and services. We also see higher insurance premiums, financial stress, and mental health challenges. The impacts are visible in ice too. In the Andes, tropical glaciers are now the smallest they've been in 11,700 years, the start of the Holocene, when conditions became just right for civilizations to flourish. These glaciers feed rivers that supply both farms and cities. Their retreat is not just a sign of warming, it's a countdown clock for water security. From Kyrgyzstan, scientists warned the country could lose up to 40% of its glaciers by 2050, threatening agriculture and hydropower across Central Asia.
As a mountain country, Kyrgyzstan is particularly vulnerable to impacts of climate change. Despite its relatively low greenhouse gas emissions, Kyrgyzstan emits about 0.04% from global emissions. One of the most pressing issues is the accelerated melting of glaciers, and this is a very critical source of fresh water for both Kyrgyzstan and downstream countries in Central Asia. And this is a very populated region, and this has direct implication on two main sectors of economy in Kyrgyzstan. This is agriculture and energy.
These examples are symptoms of a wider pattern, a planet's life support systems beginning to fail. As the world warms further, the Earth's natural buffers, forests, wetlands, frozen ground, start to falter. Instead of absorbing carbon dioxide, they begin to release it back into the atmosphere, compounding the crisis. Warming also shifts the climate's bell curve. Once rare extremes, like record heat, now occur more often, last longer, and reach higher intensities. And the destabilisation is economic too. Drought in the US Midwest pushes up global corn prices. Coastal storms drive up insurance premiums. These shocks ripple through economies and societies far from the disaster zones. This is not just a story told in degrees Celsius or parts per million. It's a story of systems, ecological, political, economic, human, pushed beyond stability. And so I ask myself, can't we just adapt to this new reality, or is it happening too fast? And is there a point where warming just continues on its own, or does something tip?